my Minecraft megabase is rapidly expanding. Each episode we add new builds, decorations, and farms. So surely I have a decent storage room, right? Not exactly. But today, we change that by building a nearly 20,000 block grand hall to house all of our items. So stick around to the end and maybe even subscribe while you're at it. That way you don't miss out on what comes next. That's right guys, today we are building a storage room to house all of these materials, because some of these are fairly organized actually for as much of a chest monster as this is, but then we got ones like these chests where it's just kind of a whole lot of stuff thrown around. So yeah, we need to build it. It's going to be right over there attaching to our other little interior we've done. And yeah, this is going to be pretty insane. This is going to be, I don't think it's quite 20,000 blocks, but it's close to it. It's close to it. So we've gathered up most of the materials, and I think, yeah, some in these shulkers. I've moved some over there already. Now, we did gather up a lot of those materials on stream the other day, so shout out everybody who was in the stream. I usually stream here on YouTube, so yeah, if you subscribe to the channel or stick around, then hopefully you'll get to see some of those streams if that's your thing. But we don't quite have everything we need yet. We're missing out on a couple of materials. But before we go ahead and get those, Cash wants to stop by, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a pretty helpful visit.
All right. So, Viper, you and I are doing some pretty big bases. I mean, we're inside your massive coral rock right now with all the insane stuff going on.
Thank you.
And, we don't get these resources overnight. So
No.
I noticed you have a lot of like wood farms and like plant farms.
Yep.
And I have a bunch of like rock farms and a gold farm and stuff. So I wanted to propose we, share these farms, both have access to it, and then, be able to make our big builds a lot easier, and with the combined resources of our farms and all that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was gonna say, as somebody who needs like 1 billion stone to get this build that I'm working on now, just kind of up and off the ground, I will happily accept that deal.
Yay, awesome. I need so much wood for the candy factory. This will be great.
Oh, awesome. I might have, if you want to come over here, you could probably take some with you. I might have some extra, a little parting gift of good faith. I don't know if you need,
that would be good.
Need pale oak?
I would love some pale oak.
Right here in this chest.
Oh wow.
Go ahead and take some. That's still from the first time I ran this farm. I think all of these chests are full. All 4 of these with pale oak. So yeah.
You seem pretty set here.
Yeah, what is one thing I don't really need? So everything you have, though, I will happily use.
I have a lot of stone I don't need. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm definitely coming over and snagging that.
Yeah, totally. It's fine. Just make sure you activate your elytra before you hit the ground.
Okay, that's ominous.
Well, it's just a simple fact. Like,
you know what? You had a bed over here. Let's set the old spawn before. Is that
you'll
still
be fine.
Filling up with wind charges? Is that what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do?
Well, okay. Oh, now it's ready. Okay, so go in there.
Okay.
Make sure you're standing on the bar and hit the button.
Just in like the middle of the bar?
Stand towards the back so you make sure you don't hit the front. Okay. And hit the button.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Hello? Hey, I got an achievement. Whoa.
Check your Y coordinate.
Wait, oh my gosh, where am I? Oh my god, that sent me like 500 blocks in the air. I've never seen the clouds from up here.
Oh wait, only 500?
Maybe I messed up. Wait, it is. Yeah, it was only like 500.
It normally sends you about 1,500.
Oh, Well, that was
Yeah.
still pretty cool. That sent
Mhm.
me so far up. Oh my gosh.
My
I literally
record
just watched your base
is
fade away.
it's crazy. My record is 28,000 blocks.
28,000?
28,000.
Dude, that's
Mhm.
insane. Well, I think I learned two things from my visit with Cash. One is this is going to be awesome because I have like all the materials now I need for the farm that we didn't have a few minutes ago. And two, we absolutely need one of those really cool elytra launchers that he has. I was thinking of doing like a slime block one before he made that video, and now I'm like, okay, no, we need to use Breeze Tech. That is the way to go. But with these last few resources gathered up, we officially have everything that we need to get started on the storage room. So let's not waste any time and let's hop straight into the build. And the floor is done, or mostly done. But I wanted to interject here because now you can see just how big this is going to be. And I'll talk about the floor a little bit, right? We do still have the like lodestones and the smooth stone, kind of like we have in this interior. Same kind of pattern with a copper bulb and stuff, trapdoors, buttons, all that good stuff, really. Lots of carpets, and then as you guys saw in the time lapse, let's see, is it under here? Yeah, lots of ender chests. I think there are like 30 ender chests in the floor, so that's why it was huge that Cash gave us access to some of his farms. See if I can find it here. Yeah, he gave us tons of obsidian, so that deal was already helping out for us. Now, we're going to ignore the netherrack for now because this is going to be something else. Don't worry, it's going to look cool. Just going to have to trust me on this. It's another one of those things. But as for the rest of it, we have some, anvils in the floors. We got some more, what do they call it? The firefly bushes. I don't know how I always forget that, but giving us these lovely particle effects in the air. And then, of course, the centerpiece is in the floor. We're going to be able to look down and see the ocean, which means I have to tidy some stuff up a little bit. But we're going to make it cool. Maybe we'll bring some like glow squids in here later. Yeah, I think that's going to look pretty cool. But before we can build the rest of the storage room here, this has got to go. Yeah, that is right. Unfortunately, our little grass farm here is right in the way. I didn't realize that until I started building this, but I've already found a new home for it. I think we're just going to go ahead and put it over there. So let me real quick destroy this. Maybe we'll do it in a little time lapse, and maybe I'll go ahead and move it too. I guess it depends if I get lazy or not. But yeah, one way or another, it's got to go. And now that we've gone ahead and moved that grass farm, we can get back to work on this room. You guys, I think we cooked. I think we absolutely cooked. This place is looking amazing. I mean, it's not entirely done. There's a couple other things we're going to do and I wanted to do here on camera with you guys, but oh man, it looks so cool. And then with the hallway, I mean, ignoring the shulker boxes, of course, but yeah, this is going to be this is something special. This is a special build, to say the least. I don't even know where to start. Well, I guess let's go ahead and start with the storage aspect of things. So on both sides here, so the sides across from each other, I have a whole bunch of chests just lining the walls. And yeah, I think like you can see through here right now, which is kind of intentional because I'm not doing the redstone today, but I think eventually maybe having these set up with like the copper golems and stuff could be cool. But yeah, lots of chests. Maybe on like a stream or something, we can go ahead and organize this and stuff to get everything, out of the shulker or chest monster rather over there. But yeah, I think that's going to be kind of the main storage in this room. The other storage is secondary storage, and I don't know exactly how I want to do it, but basically on these walls here, I want to have shulker boxes for like bulk storage. I think would be really cool. I mean, maybe on these ones or something, we can have like maps or like a little like, I don't know, statue or something. But it could be cool to have like shulker boxes and stuff, because basically the idea with this storage system is I want it to be flexible and I want it to be unique. And I don't think it's going to store everything. Like I think, for instance, I've mentioned like there's an island over there. That's probably going to have more of like our books and like tools and weapons and stuff. This might be for like more blocks. We might have another island with like foliage. We can even go, like I have plans like for underneath the ocean to do some more storage there. So this won't be necessarily like everything. I want to have multiple storage systems throughout the base. So basically we can, enjoy everything we build instead of always just being in this one room. It's kind of spaced out. That's something I've been thinking about doing with my hardcore world, and a couple people I know do that, and it seems really cool. I've always wanted to try that. So this won't be the only like single centralized storage room, but I do think that it's going to work. And of course, this is pretty tall, so we do have some ladders, so you have to climb up here. Maybe that'll get annoying. I don't really know. But I wanted to get something done because I am sick and tired of using those chests over there. I will tell you guys that much. Aside from the functionality of it, though, there's some really cool aesthetic choices. And let's turn our attention, I guess, to the crying obsidian in the room. That's right. We have two of these giant, like, purple walls. And I love all the pinks and, like, pastels. But I think purple is such a beautiful color. And I was like, we gotta have some way to get this, sort of purple in here. And if you look really closely, you could see that I do have some regular obsidian in there, and it's supposed to be in a V for Viper, because that is the channel name, I'm ztVypr, so I thought the V was kind of cool. Maybe could use a little bit of tweaking, but I like it. And you can see there's even actually some obsidian there. I don't remember if I'm supposed to do that, but whatever. The crying obsidian, though, it is a little vibrant, so we have it kind of muted behind the glass here, just like we have a lot of glass, throughout the rest of the base. So I think it's pretty cool. And then we're kind of like, I'll show you guys some free cam. We're kind of pressed for space here, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. But we couldn't really do the glass like fog effect that we get to do back here because of that lack of space. So I have a couple rows of glass. I think there's 2 or 3. Then there's frog lights. But I use this, like, I think, is this quartz or bone block? This little like diamond. It's a cool shape, but I thought even cooler to give it almost like a 3D effect. Kind of like if you guys ever had it where you're like sitting at home or something and there's like rays of sun peeking through, and you can almost see, like, with the particle effects going on around me, like you can see like the air and the sun like dancing through your window. I think that's kind of what we're getting with these particles, but that's almost what I wanted to mimic with this. Obviously this is a little bit, it's more orange and stuff, and it's kind of an out there use for the resin clumps, but I think it's really cool. Or even like if you've ever looked at those pictures where like the eyes follow you, like this kind of giving that effect, because obviously, right, we're kind of drawn to that light, but when we look at this on front here, this is not, you know, moving. It's not on those lights or the glass back there. So it gives this cool like 3D effect that I really like. And of course, we just replicated the same thing over here. Whereas this one is going to be another hallway. This is going to be kind of leading us to the farms. And there's that god awful chest monster we were talking about. And then of course, this is like the entrance to the base. So yeah, that's kind of what these four are doing. This one though does have a little hallway. Real quick, I'll show you guys this one. We had just have kind of like our tools. So I think we might even put some more like, I don't know, maybe we'll put a couple crafting benches in the corner. Or I thought it could be cool to do like a little redstone, like you press one of these buttons and the crafting bench like block swaps out of the floor. Might be kind of cool little added feature. But at its core, you know, in case we need it, furnace. Here on Afterlife, we love our stone cutters just because of a couple of the like vanilla plus type mods we have with them. Anvil is always good to have. And then of course our ender chest, which I, you know, always keep one on me. But yeah, we'll have one there as well. So we're not going to do anything with this little tunnel yet, at least today. But the idea is that this is going to be a way to get to the top of the base really quick. So I think I might have mentioned it earlier. Maybe I don't remember if I put it in here, but I was talking to Cash about it. I want to have a ton of different ways to get, you know, in and out of the base, a ton of different levels and stuff. Like for instance, we're going to have, hang on. Yeah, up here in this like little main entryway, we're going to have an elevator that's going to bring us down into some of these floors. You know, up where the nether portal is going to be, which I don't know, maybe we'll do that next episode. I want to, you know, have its own like little elevator and stuff. So this is just going to be another way to get in and out of the base. So maybe we'll do, I really want to do some like different like elevators and stuff. Maybe like when the geyser releases with the Chaos Cubed update, maybe we'll do like a cool geyser elevator. I also think this could be a really cool place to put like the wind charge launcher. But I do want to have a way to get down. So if I just need to get into the storage room really quickly, you know, from the outside, we're going to have another structure on the island itself, but I could just fly into that and then, you know, right down into here. And even if, oh my gosh, I'm just kind of thinking on the fly here, but if we do have some underwater parts to our base, this could be a great way to, you know, just drop down the access chute here and access that. So yeah, basically though, all four of these ways are their own, you know, unique things, and there's going to be an emphasis on, you know, transportation and accessibility in this base. Okay, couple other things to talk about. One, and actually I'm going to turn on gamma. It's a little dark in here. It's all spawn proof. Oh, there goes my pickaxe, but it's all spawn proof, and it's going to be a little bit brighter, but it's a bit of a spoiler. We're going to get to that in a second, but I'm going to turn on the gamma just for now, and we're going to do a little cheaty free cam because I don't feel like getting my gas. But up here, a couple really cool things. We have this interesting little like trim using the waxed weathered cut copper. So it's giving us that kind of minty green that I love, and we have throughout the base. And then I think the honeycomb really breaks it up nicely, right? It's a way to break up all of, you know, the white and the chests and stuff down here. And we get that green to tie it all in. And we do kind of continue the white as well with the buttons to mute it and spawn proof it a hair. But yeah, I think the yellow is a really nice divider for what comes next, which we're going to talk about in a second. But before that, I want to show you guys, I got a little bit of skulk. So it'll be brighter, but it kind of almost looks like the night sky. So, and this room, basically, it's two shapes. We're doing a little geometry here. It's a big box, or I think it's a square. It might be rectangular. We'll say square. But it's this big square box with a big, you know, semicircle or semi-sphere rather on top, right? So we have like half of a sphere. It's this big dome, which is probably the more appropriate term for it. But, you know, how do we connect those? Well, skulk. this almost looks like the night sky a little bit. And if we turn it on, yeah, you can really see it. And it's subtle. I think because it's darker and like, we're looking up, we're kind of drawn to the glass and stuff. You don't really see it, but I think it's such a cool little added feature. And again, just, trying my hardest to make this base like so incredibly unique. And I just, yeah, I think that the skulk is, a block that I don't use a lot. I'm not super comfortable with, but I think it's underrated. Like, I think maybe I was just scared because I didn't want to get killed by a warden, because, who would? But it looks so, so great with the, the copper, the honeycomb, and everything. And it really does a nice job of tying it into the dome, which is the next part that I want to talk about. So the dome kind of ties together a lot of the colors that we have from these stained glass windows in here, right? We have the yellow, the green, and the pink. And then, of course, up here we have the yellow, the green, and the pink. But we also have the white. So this is divided, it's like again, going back to math. Sorry, guys, I don't know why this is such like a math-heavy episode, but it's like, it's a pizza, basically. We just cut it into 8 different slices. It's like one of those math problems, Viper has a pizza with 8 slices. How many of them would he make pink? And apparently the answer is 2. But I think it is super cool. Like, if we kind of get the full effect of the dome and how grand this room is, you can kind of see, and your eye is drawn when you're walking down here to the big, purple wall, and we get all these beautiful particle effects. And we get down here, and then, oh my gosh, you walk in and it's like, whoa. Have you ever had that if you go to like a museum or something and you just walk in, maybe like from a corridor, you're like looking at stuff, and then, oh my gosh, like, whoa, how did we get here in this big giant room? That's what we have going on here. And to make it even more ornate, I went ahead and added in that glow lichen effect. So it almost looks like, yeah, some sort of like wallpaper, because believe it or not, the like waxed weathered cut copper block and glow lichen, they do have a lot of like, glow lichen's more blue, but if we look here, and I got to be careful with my mouse movements, I'm pretty zoomed in, but yeah, like that specifically, there's a lot more green in there than you would think. It is like a green blue. And same thing with this, like we have some of those blues, whoop, there we go, of the glow lichen, and then some of those greens in here as well. So I think they really complement each other. It's a subtle effect, but I think that's why they work so well, so close together. And then of course, all around the framing for the glass, we have that glow lichen, and it just looks, oh, I'm so happy. I feel like I do this every single episode, but I'm really proud of myself. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I think that we really did a great job with this room and making it feel grand. And, of course, this room is going to be a room we spend a lot of time in. This is probably going to be the main storage room, in addition to our other little supplementary ones, but we're going to be in here a lot. So it's going to be really cool that we're going to have something so beautiful to look at and so many details to catch our eyes on. Only downside of this room, and I kind of hinted at it earlier, but if we free cam through, yeah, we broke the island just a little bit, right? Maybe like 10 blocks this way and like 20-30 blocks this way. So we're not going to worry about it now because, well, one, this is the back of the base, so who cares? But I do have an idea to put another like little tower, nothing as crazy as this one, but something little here. And then, of course, the one we talked about here, which might house the elytra launcher. So we're going to have some more stuff to, decorate the back of the base a little bit. So it sucks that it's broken now. And because it's so close here, like to the edge, it's going to be hard to get redstone in. That's why the chests are on this side and this side, where we have a little bit more room. Well, maybe not there, but who cares about that? Ignore me. But yeah, I think that it still works out pretty well. And I think we would have a hard time putting a build this big anywhere else. Especially with the farms, this is kind of the only place it could go. Now that I've kind of walked you guys through everything, though, there's a few little details I would like to add before we, wrap up the day. And I think first, it is super dark in here. It is very dark. You can see I have some torches and frog lights just kind of scattered around to light it up. And it's not going to be like this bright. This is like, ooh, sorry if you guys were on full brightness there. I'll turn that off. I probably just blinded you. But, you know, we do have some lights in the floor, but we need a couple like little additions, and that's where these come into play. And I honestly, the red has kind of grown on me. The netherrack is really just like a placeholder block, but we're gonna have something in here, and I think maybe you guys can already figure out what that something is, but we're gonna make a quick stop over to the nether for that. And if you guys didn't figure it out, it's lava. We're just gonna get a whole bunch of lava. I think I had like 13 buckets here. Yeah, that should be enough. And actually our portal is, oh, that was weird. Did I just, okay. Anyways, ignoring that, not sure what happened there. It was a bit of a misfire. Man, maybe I need to get a refund on these rockets. But we're going to head back through our portal, and we're going to go ahead and add in the lava, because this is going to be kind of the main light source. And I think this again ties into what I was talking about before with, I want this to be very unique. And I think, you know, using lava to light this up in these like big columns is, yeah, that's pretty unique. I think I'm starting to realize that this is not going to be enough lava, but that's okay. We're close. All right, there we go. Yeah, this is looking a lot better. You know, we don't have just torches. Oh, okay, well, we do have one just torch, but now we don't have torches just, you know, littering the floors or the walls, anything like that. Yeah, this looks really nice. Okay, cool. And it's a lot brighter too, so you can see that skulk better that I was talking about a little bit ago. And next, I want to turn my attention to these little columns. So these are kind of like, they kind of had to be the wool and the, you know, copper and the mossy cobble, because that's these patterns right here. So there's not much we could do. It's hard to get away from that. But I did come up with something really cool in here, and I'll give you guys a hint. We tackled something similar to it last episode. Got any guesses? Got any guesses? Yeah, so I am gonna need to make, I think it's 16 sets of gold armor. So that's a lot. But I'm not doing trims. Not right now, at least. I love you guys, and I think the trims look so cool, and maybe in the future. But dude, that would I don't even think I'd have enough diamonds for that, honestly. Like if we look in the ender chest real quick, we're not necessarily running low, but I would have to make, that's too much. I'd have to make like a stack of these. So yeah, no trims today, but I think just the regular gold armor will look cool. I feel like this has to set some sort of record for like most gold armor crafted in survival. Like this feels illegal to have. I know it's not, but like this kind of feels weird. Okay, I think I've come up with like a method that's going to work pretty well. Is have the armor stand here, and then all of the armor in my hotbar like this, which, like, this is again not to keep like beating a dead horse, so to speak, but like weirdest inventory ever record. Like I'm setting a lot of gold armor related records these last few episodes. But let's see if, hello, where did that place? Oh, okay, I fell down. I was like, wait, are my armor stands invisible? Like, what's going on here? Oh, did I mess up? Oh, this should be a pair of pants. Oh gosh. Oh, this is so embarrassing that I'm doing this on camera. Oh man, please don't unsubscribe and dislike the video. Oh no, I have 0 subscribers. I lost everybody. Well, that looks pretty cool. We're gonna do something else with this too, but that's a good start. I have 14 more sets of armor to place, so let me get on that, and I'll check back in with you guys when we're done. There we go. All of the armor is in, and I think it's giving it a much needed pop of color here, like in the middle section. So yeah, I'm loving that. But you guys are probably like, Viper, what's with all the scaffolding? That's weird. Why is that there? Well, last episode, 2 episodes ago, I think it would have been 2 episodes ago, but somebody mentioned for the armor over here, they said, why don't you make this like a display case and, you know, push some glass into it with pistons? And we might still do that here. I think that's a cool idea. Like if we change these to blocks, or maybe it'll look cool with panes. I don't know. But I did try it out in this room because I was really struggling to fill this like earlier this week. I was like, what should I put in here? Well, I decided that we're going to go ahead and use some of our leftover glass, and we're going to put some glass in these. So these are going to kind of be like display cases, almost like trophy armor. I figured I may as well take you guys along for the process here. So maybe there's a different way to do it, like an easier way. I don't know though. This is always the way that I've done it. Oh, and you know what? I probably need some more scaffolding, but basically, here, let's just do this real quick. We can clean it up later. Basically, we're gonna have the glass out here, and we need to push it into the armor because you can't place it with the armor there, so it takes a little bit. But if we place some pistons there with the glass and then power it with these redstone blocks, we get this lovely looking display case with the armor. Yeah, I think it's subtle, but I think it's going to work. I think it's going to look really nice here. And we're going with the white all the way around just because it's already pretty colorful in here. We don't need anything else with this armor. At least I don't think. There we go. All of the armor is in place with the little glass display case. So yeah, I mean, I think there's only one or two more things that I want to do in this area. But first and foremost, if this is going to be an automatic storage system, where's the input? I mean, it's got to go somewhere, right? Well, I have this crazy idea because remember, I want everything about this base to feel magical and unique. And yeah, this one's, well, I guess I shouldn't say out there. I feel like people have done this before. But what if we had a couple water streams? So we got lava. What if we had water? And more specifically, you can see in the ceiling, maybe you already saw it, but we have these four little like openings, these little tubes, these little pipes. What if we had a couple places down here, 4 different pillars supporting the roof to make it even more grand, and we could just toss our items into those pillars and they would shoot up into the ceiling and automatically get sorted. I think that would be pretty cool. Again, I don't know how the redstone's going to work. That's not my expertise. That's for future Viper to figure out. But today, we're just working on the pretty stuff and the cool ideas. So I say let's go ahead and build some of these pillars. So basically for this bottom part, I'm just building a little like container almost. And for those of you who are curious, this mod is Lightmatica. This is a Java only thing, at least to my knowledge. But yeah, I'm just using the like little auto place function now to place down those blocks quicker. But I built up 2 of these bases, and there's going to be 2 more on this side. And basically the idea would just be that, you know, we can open this up, toss in our items. I'm going to need to grab that. That's my pickaxe. But if there was a water stream here and the rest of the tunnel existed, it would just get shot way up into the ceiling where it would, you know, somehow get sorted. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind this. Let me get my pickaxe before I forget. I also decided just for like an extra level of detail with the shelf blocks, because I feel like I use the shelf blocks a lot, like, you know, in here. But aside from like the top, like red sandstone copper tower, I don't, you know, use them like with items in there. So just to get a little more detailed, make this a little more colorful, a little more magical, and, you know, it kind of ties it into our honeycomb up there. I've just gone ahead and added in some more of this stuff. So I'll give you guys a little side by side. You can see this is what it looks like with. Here is what it looks like without. I'm going to go ahead and add it with, but this is one of those things like honestly not 100% sure about. So if you guys, you know, like it, dislike it, you know, are in between, let me know down in the comments. I'm curious to hear your thoughts because yeah, I'm still a little on the fence with it myself. And for the final part of these little water towers, we went and brought in our good buddy FredX, the Happy Ghast, and I think these turned out pretty good. Tell you what, Fred, why don't you go here for a second? It's getting a little cramped for him, so it's hard to bring him in. I don't want him to fly in that lava, but we'll keep an eye on him. I won't let anything bad happen to him. But yeah, here are the finished pillars, and wow, Fred looks so majestic in here. And if you know how big the Happy Ghast is, this gives you kind of just a better sense of the scale of this whole build, because I mean, yeah, this is this is kind of crazy, honestly. Um, you know what? I'm not 100% sure on the pillars. Maybe they need to just be pale oak. The reason though that I have them like this is because I want you to be able to see the water in there. Like I love, all the particle effects. I love having the flowing, moving lava as a light source. I want to be able to see the flowing, moving water. Like all this motion and stuff really gives a build life. And I think that, if we can't see the water, then it kind of lacks life. But I do think that this makes it look a little more like industrial than I want. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're going to leave it for today, but there's no reason we can't come back and change and revise things. I mean, I think the bulk of this build, like I would say like 90%, I am super duper happy with. And then maybe there's like another 10% that we'll have to see if it grows on me. And I kind of want, your guys' opinions as well. But one thing I'm definitely sure about here is that this is still a little darker than I'd like, at least in the middle. So I think there's two things that we're going to try to do here. And I talk about magic in this base a lot, and I think what screams magic more than like floating candles? That to me is just like a magic staple. So I have something I've designed, but I'm not super thrilled with it, which is kind of the theme with these last few things. But I'm gonna go ahead and maybe see if I can whip up something else real fast. I think I've said this probably 3 or 4 different times today in this episode, but come on, this is so cool. This might be one of my favorite things I've ever built. And just like, it's so simple. Just a couple of candles, little bit of the white glass panes, almost like they're, melting or something is kind of the idea, like they're wax or, something magical going on here. Just, yeah, it's so simple, and I think that makes the build so much better. Like I got to go look at it from this angle again. Yeah, I mean, ignore the shulker mess, but yes, dude, that just looks so cool. And I mean, it doesn't distract, but it also, with gamma on, it doesn't add much. But when we have this, it just totally lights up this center. I wonder what it looks like from over here. So let's see, we come down into the storage area real quick. Yeah. Oh, dude, that is so cool. So yeah, the idea is it's pretty much entirely over our little, peak into the ocean, reminding us that we are, on an island here. Yeah, I mean, we're over here crafting, if we... Is that is there a wandering trader? Oh my gosh, there is. Well, that's cool. I didn't realize they could spawn on this island. Interesting. So I got sidetracked there, but yeah, if we're coming from this hallway, we get the same kind of effect there. Super, super cool. And I just wanted to take a second and explain kind of how I did this. Because before I used this building tool called Axiom, which is a really powerful, it's kind of like World Edit, if you guys know what that is, but it's kind of like World Edit on like steroids. Like it is insane. I used it to help me with a lot of my builds, honestly. Super powerful tool, but you can use what's called a pathway tool. And it's kind of what I used, if I fly out here, for the tree to get some of these like spindly like branch type things. And basically I just made a path going up into the air, circling like this, only in like this shape. So I took some time shaping it, then I copy and pasted it over here, made it a separate color, added candles, and, you know, kind of added the glass where the filler block was. And yeah, you're left with this. Just such a cool effect. Yeah, I mean, I think there's one more thing I want to do here, and I know this one's getting a little bit long. I, you know, probably should have stopped a while ago. I'll have to work a little harder to get this one out in time, but I think it's worth it because this room is just like this makes the base right now. I think like the interior of the base is phenomenal. But the last thing I want to work on here today before we finish off with the comment of the day is this floor underneath me. It looks really cool. I, you know, would be happy if we left it like this, honestly, but I want to try to do something a little bit special with it. I'd like to get some life in here, and then also, I don't think it should be as vast and open as it is. So we're going to kind of close it off, make it more like a little fish tank, just a little glimpse into the ocean, not really exposing, you know, all of the issues with the base underwater that we can kind of see this way. And that took way longer than it should have, honestly, but let's go ahead and see. Was it all worth it? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it was. I think this is a super cool, again, unique, magical little addition to our base, especially the storage room here. So we did lose a couple of friends along the way here, unfortunately. But as you can see, we have a couple of squids. We have a couple of the coral zombie nautilus. I think there's one regular nautilus in here. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure where. Oh, there he is. Okay. I had another one of these guys, and I name tagged him, but it was over here in the base, so he might still be somewhere because I couldn't find him. And then there's plenty of little fish swimming around in there, as you can see. Actually, they're all just kind of stationary right now, but plenty of the little guys around here. I think there's like, you know, upwards of 10. And yeah, I don't think the Nautilus will go after them. I hope not. That would be really mean if they did. So fingers crossed everybody just lives in harmony in our little aquarium. There was a dolphin here, but sadly the dolphin did not make it. So maybe we'll try to get another dolphin. And the one thing I really wanted was glow squids, but they are hard to find. Like, they spawn in here, so we might be able to get them, but like pretty rarely. So we'll keep an eye out for glow squids. Down in the tank though, I do want to show you guys their names and stuff. And yes, I'm using free cam. We're kind of disassociating from our body there, but we have Squidward and Plankton, our two zombie coral nautiluses, whatever you want to call them. Then we have this guy. What? Did he just spawn in here? Okay, well, this guy was Larry the lobster, and we did have Mr. Krabs somewhere. So if you guys see in a theme, and then since Squidward's already taken, oh, hang on a second. There we go. Yeah, okay, so this guy's Larry. I guess that's my bad, my fault. I don't know why it shows up on some of them, but whatever. Then we have SpongeBob and Patrick, the two derpy squids, which I thought was kind of appropriate. But as for the inside of the tank, just a lot of coral, very overgrown, very colorful, very vibrant. And I even built this cute little treasure chest kind of thing. So, and I found these diamonds when I found the one zombie coral nautilus, and I was like, hey, you know what? We're using them for decoration. Yeah, they look pretty cool in there. So we have this, you know, cute little treasure chest. Nothing to it, really. Could probably be a little bit nicer, but yeah, I think it works really well. Just some simple moss and stone on the sides. just kind of blending in here. And yeah, it looks pretty great. You know, it doesn't take away. When we walk in, we can clearly see that it has, you know, a back, and then I guess it is a little harder to see the next layer in, but that's okay. I think this looks pretty phenomenal, and I'm really happy with it. So now we have a little, you know, fish tank in here, so we have some life in here other than, you know, just the movement we're going to have with the bubble columns and the lava. Now we actually have some mobs in here. And now it's time for another comment of the day. So I was again between two comments and I couldn't really pick, so we've got two of you again. So first up was Illy Silence with, and he dropped another banger. And this is one that I thought was just really funny, really sweet, and I just wanted to take the time to say thank you. Well, one, Illy Silence for leaving the comment, and you know, comments on the past few videos. I really appreciate it, and just to all of you for all the support recently. It has been insane, and I love that you guys are loving the mega base as much as I am. So yeah, thank you so very much for that. And secondly, from Arzuverma, and I apologize again if I'm butchering that. Names are not my specialty. But yeah, you left a comment and said you are a new subscriber here. Love the style of your builds a lot. So beautiful and whimsical. Your channel needs to blow up. Keep going. So first off, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. That means so much to me, more than you could ever know. And again, just kind of the theme of these comments was, you know, you guys are just awesome. You've been crushing it on the support recently, and I really do appreciate that. And I think it was really cool that you pointed out whimsy and stuff, because yeah, that's kind of what we're going for with the build so far. It's very whimsical, very beautiful, and magical. So that's kind of the vibe. But you guys, that is gonna do it for today. This was a jam-packed episode. I honestly did not intend to do a huge build this week. I was gonna do something a little smaller, but you know what? I got really inspired. I ended up having a little more time than I anticipated, and yeah, it worked out this way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this massive project. We've got plenty more coming up on the base, so be sure to stick around. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I just want to say thank you so very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you soon.